Hello everyone, this is Paula, and today is December the 14th, and I'm finally getting back to do a video. From in the past, I know that everyone loved when I would do a composition book. And so we're going to do a Christmas composition book today, and I want you to come along with me. Now, there is a set of 3 of these, so the whole set goes together. And at the very end of this video, I will do a flip through of all 3 of them. But in the meantime, let's do a Santa composition book. Okay, so everything we need. Of course, Santa has a red suit. Kind of looks orange in the camera, but it is actually red. I just dropped something. Whew, just dropped something. Had to go after it. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is get this glued down. Now, if you want to, when you make them, you want to ink them, that's fine. But after making 3, this will be 3. After cutting out and making and decorating 3, I think I haven't inked any of them, so why ink this one, right? Okay, so first thing we got to do is get some glue on the back of here. Now, sometimes I'll just tell you, you want to measure for each book. You don't want to cut all the pieces the same because it will end up being off a little bit. One thing I know about the composition books is they're not high dollar, so they don't put forth an effort to make sure everything's perfectly straight, you know. So it's usually just a note taker or something like that. But I hope this one will seem like something even more special than a note taker. So yeah. So that's, I'm just putting plenty of glue on this cover so it doesn't pop off. I'm not going to show you the other 2 till the end. That way you'll be excited when you see it. Or it gives you something to look forward to. I'll put it that way. Not excited necessarily. Okay, now you want to line it up with your spine here. This black line, so you don't see a bunch of white through it. And if it is a little big or anything like that, all you have to do is give it a minute, trim around it, which is usually what has to happen. So let's flip over and see. Yeah, I'm pretty far off on this one. Let me trim it real quick. Hope you guys can see all right. Let me know if you have trouble seeing. My camera will only go out so far, which is a real nuisance. But it is what it is. If I bring it out any further, it tries to fall in on my table. So I think some of you know what I'm talking about. Especially if you've ever done any videos. A lot of people do lots of different videos for different purposes. And sometimes for the same thing. We just like to watch each other. We learn from each other when we watch other videos. So none of this paper, this was just in my stash. I can't tell you what paper pad. It's older paper, but it was perfect for what I was wanting to do. So at one little corner, it's really kind of just barely any over here hanging over. I'll try to get some of it if I can. Yeah, I think that's going to be all I can get. It's pretty close to being correct. Now, the bottom side was. So, I don't like the way this looks, so I'm going to reshape it just a little bit. And hopefully all the rest of the papers I put in here won't care. So I think you all have figured out that we're doing Santa Claus. And so I'm going to bring some papers over that it requires to do Santa Claus. Now, the first thing I did was I used my scallop punch. And I pre-did this because everyone knows how to use a scallop punch. And so I did that ahead of time to save a little bit of time. So you put it in the very center of the red section. Make sure it's snug at the top. Snug as a bug. There's a section here I want to trim a little bit and see if I can get the jagged look off of that. I'm going to glue this down first thing. Excuse my pajamas, but sometimes that's what you get with me. You never know what I'm up to, whether I have pajamas or clothes on. It depends on the part of the day I do my video, really. Okay. So I'm going to make sure I'm in the center, or as close as I can get. Make sure it's pushed all the way up there so you don't end up with a red space. Now, the other one's you want to glue it from the top, or from the bottom up. You want to make sure the bottom doesn't show any red this time, because we're going to cover up the middle section. See? Yeah. So we won't need that to be so let me get that glued down a little bit. Okay. You want to line it up with the one above so you know it's going to be straight. And take it up as high as you can, but still be able to leave no space down here on the bottom. So this is the fur on Santa's coat. We're actually just doing his coat. His face is not in here or on here. I was trying to think of a way that would make it easier by doing it this way, but there's no easy way to do anything, so I decided no faces. Oh, now let me think. Oh yeah, I was thinking I had to do something else. And then we've got this belt. I'll remind you guys that line this up along the black, and I'll make sure your red edge is covered too. I want to remind you guys, I'm going to look and make sure it's straight. It is. I want to remind you guys that I have 4 Christmas books in my shop. There may be 5, but just so you know. Need to get them sewed so I can move on to more. Got a little glue right here, so I'm just going to kind of use my adhesive remover to get that out. Okay, double checking that it's straight, and it is. So one of the things I know about Santa, and I'm sure you know about Santa, is that he has a gold buckle. So I'm using foil cardstock to make that bucket. The buckle, I mean, not bucket. So you want to line it up right in the middle. You want to center it actually along with these little things. And you want the top and the bottom to be hanging off about the same amount. I'm looking to see if I got it straight. That looks straight to me. Got the same amount on both sides. Not quite, but close enough. This is one of the fun parts. I had to figure out how I wanted to do this, because I had to do it on 2 of my characters. Now, I've already made the other 2 books, and that took me a while. Can't do anything fast when it comes to this sort of thing. I'm too much of a perfectionist. It drives me crazy. It only hurts me, right? So now we're going to add this to the center, and it will look like Santa's belt is going through the buckle. And you'll see how I'll make that happen in just 1 second. Get the glue off of there. You want to make sure you can get this as close as you want the first time. You want to line it up with the black belt. You don't want to line it up with the buckle. You want to get it as close to what how the black belt is running through. Ah, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Now, we're going to little string of gold. Little bar of gold. We're going to call it the little bar on the belts. How they look and everything. So, I'm going to put this gold strip with some, I'm going to use some glitter glue because it has a smaller tip. Hopefully I can get that down without getting it all over me or Santa. Maybe I'll be the one. Let's see. And I'm going to do it just like this. And you know how it has to go, the belt has to go through a little area that has a clip, usually on a belt. So I'm stuffing this glue under so it's not so noticeable. Let me see if that's even or straight. Of course, how you cut these things out, these pieces out, determines a lot too of how straight everything is. I just took a big punch. And then I laid this belt portion down, laid this on here and cut it. Well, actually what I did is I took this belt, I cut it extra long, cut this off, and then I knew it would be the same width. We have one more piece to go on the front. He is definitely looking like Santa. Now this is the little thing that goes through the holes on the belt. And I'm getting it on every finger before I actually get it over to the right place. Let me see how I had my drawing over here. Hold on. I may have cut it a little bigger than I wanted to, but nah, we're going to go for it. Just go in the center here. Make sure it's centered. One end's hanging down here a little bit. I'm going to try to get this glue. That's the thing about glitter glue. It doesn't come off as good as the others. So, yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry. But it does. I will get it off when I can move it without moving it around. Right now, I just need to leave it like it is. Let me make sure I'm still in the center of, I am. Okay, there you go. See his little buckle. So fun, so fun. Now we're going to tackle the inside of this book and see what we get done here. Now, I'm going to put my lid back on my glitter glue because it likes to clog up if I don't. Okay, now we're going to decorate the inside cover and the first page. And what I have to decorate that with is, let me get my papers over here. It's some real Santa Claus-like papers. You know, because you want it to be festive, right? So I'm going to put some of it to the right here. And I'll put this over here. And as you can see, a long time ago, I made a bunch of Christmas tags. And I decoupaged them and then stitched around them. And I just so happened to have a Santa one in there. And there's one of my decoupage tags in each book going with the theme. And I just have some of that little wild looking fiber to put on here. And I'm just going to put it in through here and tie it off so I don't lose it. It's kind of easy to lose. It's just very thin, very fibery, if that's a word. Who knows? But now, he'll be done. There's not much to him since he was already pre-done, but I just thought I'd share some of those cards because I was making a pocket. And because I'm making a pocket, I want him to have a place to live. So first, let's put the inside cover on. I think before we decorate, I want both these papers on before we decorate, because you can tell more about what you're going to do if you do it that way. Noisy little thing. You know, you want to get close to the edge, but not so much that it oozes out. And that is a hard thing to make happen. It's hard to tell. Sometimes I think I didn't put very much and it oozed out anyway. This is the back of this paper. I don't remember which, it may have been Santa Claus, North Pole Santa Claus or something. I can't remember exactly what this paper was called, but it had to do with, Santa's name was in it. Put it that way. And so, okay. This takes the longest of everything, is putting the glue on it. Okay, now we're going to match this up to the edge here, because I've rounded the corners, and I actually didn't round them with a rounding tool. You could, I guess. I just, because I wanted it, I lay the paper underneath the page I'm going to be covering. For instance, let's pretend that this is a whole sheet of paper. So what I do is I take my paper and I lay it under, and then I draw around the page I'm going to cover. And then I cut it, the straight part out with the 3 straight or 4 straight parts out with my trimmer. And then I just do the corners after I have the page glued down usually. So now let's look and see if anything needs to be trimmed. There's a little bit that has to be trimmed on both sides, but not a lot. So let me get this turned over so it's easier to trim. This angle, believe it or not, this angle is hard to trim. you're putting it at this angle, you know, to trim, like where you can actually see what's hanging over. It's not as easy as it seems. Especially going from that direction. Now, coming from this direction, it might be easier. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's frustrating when you can't get it to cooperate with you. Okay, now. Trying to see where the rest of it was. Oh, there it is, right there. Duh. Silly. So, I need to trim this front part. That tells you my vision is going. Not quite what it used to be. Had cataract surgery, and yeah, it could have been more perfect in my opinion, but I'll take what I got. I can still see, and that's what matters. But evidently, I didn't get it as close, the white fur as close as I should have, because I can see a little tiny bit of red there. Am I losing it? Who knows? But it's hard. Well, just drop it, Paula. It's hard as you get older to see. And so you just have to work with the... Plus, all these lights about blind me that I have going so you can see. Because this is a dark room in my new house. It's darker than what I'm used to. Let's see if I can get this one little spot. Finally. Dang, that's taking forever. So there we go. It's on here. It's not perfect, but it looks really good. Okay, so we got page 2 on there. Now we need to trim out page 2. So we're going to use this cute red and green and white stripe right here. And it finishes it off by putting these on. You don't have to put this part on, but I just think it cleans it up and makes it look nicer. Now, I don't cover every page in here. And if a person wanted to, they could put more pages in it. I'm only doing 3 sets. I do one in the front and the back, and then in the middle of the book. You'll see what I mean when we get to that portion. So I'm going to add this here. Kind of just put it in from center, on and off. So you put it where it's centered here. You want to look and make sure everything looks straight, because there's no going back once it's down, and once you move on. Well, we got a little bit sticking out there. I don't know how that happens when you use the same trimmer and you do them all at the same time. This is why I said it's very important to make, you know, to measure them with each book. Now, this red stripe that we put on there is going to have a matching page that's red stripe. Now, this page is real flimsy. And when we're done, because it's so thin, it's just a sheet of paper, right? And cheap paper. So we're going to glue a couple of these together. 2 or 3, whatever makes you think it works best, or however it works best for you. You do you. Okay, and now, again, you want to match the bottom. I usually match the bottom up, and then I trim the top if I need to. Then I just match it up with around the whole paper. Sometimes that's not perfectly, easy either. So I'll have to trim some of this off, I'm sure. I'm putting plenty of glue on here because I think with the motion of moving the book around that it would be easy to pop it off if you just put just a little bit of glue. So remember that. That's the only reason I do it like that. I've really tried to back off on how much glue I use. I used to use so much. But it was because I didn't want anything to come apart on my clients, you know, that bought my product. So that's what that was all about. If you ever get so involved doing the glue that before you know it, you're figuring out how to do designs on the back. Like sometimes I go in circles, sometimes I go straight, sometimes back and forth. You can do whatever to make the long time it takes to get the glue on more fun. Okay, so I'm going to lay that right there. Line it up with the bottom and the side. And, you know, I don't have problems with this being too short. So, I'm going to glue this page over. And usually I put the glue on whichever side's the easiest for me to. Now on this, I make sure I get around the edges on this paper. Now, I don't do a bunch on the inside because it's not going to come up on you like these little edges will. So I just do the little corners good, so there's no gaps. And then I just kind of do a swirly through here. Make sure it comes off of there. And then I close this down onto the glued paper. And I start here and I push. So I know that it's not going to be all bubbled up on me. I hope that makes sense. We're going to glue this little guy on here, which is the same as the other paper. I alternate them, not always. I mean, I have been known to not alternate them, so I just do the best I can. Whatever coordinates. Sometimes I don't have enough for one thing and I coordinate something else. It's fun. Line it up with the one on the bottom, and then if anything needs to be trimmed, usually it's one thing. And then you got the right amount of space there. Yeah, gonna have to roll some glue off. It's oozed out. I don't know why that came out. I guess I got a little happy with the glue on this small piece, or too close to the edge. But the other side's fine. Okay. Now, I also add on each pad, the whale's tail. If you don't have the whale tail punch, which is by Stampin' Up, it is retired. You can get on eBay or some of those places and sometimes find them, and that's where I found this one. And I wanted one for years, and I just found it about a year and a half ago. And I think I got lucky because I bought it for like, whoever was selling it wasn't trying to make a big profit. Because I've seen them $75. And so we're going to put a tab on each page. This one particular tag is going to be, and I cover this whole section here, and then just do a little bit at the top here. And then I slide it down however you want. You lift this up, and I don't have anything to trim off this side edge, so you make sure I just have one paper there. I do. I lay it, you know, I go down about a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch, and I lay it right here and line it up. And I try to keep this little edge and that little edge on the cardstock. And I smash it pretty good because I put glue up there too. yeah, make sure both sides are down like they need to be. Now, there is some trimming to do on that second page. I felt like I just felt something on here that shouldn't be on here, but maybe it was on another page. I'll check it out. Okay, now, we have to see this from the other side in order to really, so we're going to have to cut it from, see right here, we're going to have to cut it from this direction to that direction. So, good luck, right? It should be easy, but these books, when you do this, I feel like they're a little more bulky than I would like them to be. Get as much as I can off of here. I don't want to spend a lot of our time doing that right now because I always go back and trim them, you know. But the thing is that you know what we're doing. And I am going to get this edge. If I can get my scissors in the right place. Try one more time to get this part in the middle. If my scissors would bend like I want them to, it would work great. Yeah, you got to be careful because you can, you know, probably what I would recommend. I mean, you could try it and make sure you're good with a blade, but you can also make sure you're on your mat that, you know, I don't know if this is going to let me bend back as far as I want. Well, it will, but I don't think you're going to be able to see. But I'm going to use, I'll show you right here. I'm going to use a blade and just go along that edge and make sure you don't cut straight through the paper. Just along the edge. Got to push pretty good. And in order to get it, some of my blades cut better than others. And no, I don't know which one's the better one and which one's the worst one. You know, what can I say? Always close your blade whenever you're done. I'm getting stuff falling down everywhere here. Right in our way. Now, I'll try cutting that again. You know, when you get out and when you get ready to do these things, like that's not going to pull it completely off. I'm going to cut from the other side. And maybe that will get what's remaining. And I know that when I cut with the blade, it did weaken that spot and it's making it lots easier. Now, I could have kept going over this with the blade, but I don't want to waste a lot of time doing that. I'd rather us be able to do something productive. So, there we go. Finally. Okay. So, we can go ahead and decorate this page. And keep in mind that all these pages are done the same way. And also remember that on the back of the book, in case we run out of time, on the back of the book, it will be solid red. And it will have my Homemade by Paula on here. Okay. So let's decorate as we go so we can get some of the pages done, right? So this is an old bag I found in my stash of Christmas stuff where I'd cut the top off and did this. I think I was going to put it in a book at one time, you know, like that. But we're not going to do that. We're going to make a pocket out of it. And let's see. I think we'll do it from this side. I'm just going to cut right above. You got to make sure you're cutting straight. Now, I'm not the best at that. you know, I'm trying to keep as much of the reef as I can at the top here. So it's going to be deeper than normal too, probably, because I don't want to have to cut that off. Each book has one of these pockets. I will tell you that. And then we're just going to make sure we cut this part off. And we will go through the reef here a little bit, but we will glue the bottom together in a minute. And of course, I didn't get it perfect. Let me lay it down here and see how close it is to being correct. I don't want to keep cutting until I don't have a reef. It's just a little bit on this side. Okay, so now all this trash we don't need, right? Okay, we can get rid of that. Okay, so now what I do is on the back side, excuse me, let me get a drink. So what I'm going to do is cut the back side right where this folds. You can see, and I'm tossing this part. And I'm going to straighten this up a little bit. This, it doesn't matter if this is perfectly straight, because what we're going to do is fold it back down like the bag was right there. We're going to fold this, let me think for a second. No, we're going to cut this whole first section off. I've only done this while decorating these, and so we're going to cut that off. And then we're going to fix it where we can glue a flap. Glue it like a flap. So now you close it in, and you're going to fold this back. Do not let it go past your line there, so you don't have to see it on the front of your, and it doesn't matter if it's perfect or not. Do the other side. I don't want the fold in there because it causes the paper to curl. So I'm just going to do that part right there. Get rid of all that. Okay. Do the same thing. I'm going to fold back. Now you do have a seam on this part, but it's not going to interfere either. And you're probably thinking, what seam? Well, I'm talking about the seam on the bag right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue here, here, and then straight across here. So your pocket at the bottom will be glued down, and then the sides, and it gives a little give to your pocket. Okay? Make sure I got it turned right. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to glue this, just this portion. Try not to get too close to the inside edge, because you could glue your pocket down and nothing can fit in there. You don't have to go crazy, in other words. This is a pretty light weight. Well, it's a bag. So you can imagine it's not super. Now, here at the, make sure you're putting the glue on the bottom. Here on the bottom, I'm going to go like this, under this flap. Just do a line of glue. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to put a little glue right there and right inside that fold. And that's so that those folds will hold on too. Okay, now here we go. I'm just going to line this up at the bottom in the center the best I can. If it's not perfect, it doesn't matter at this point. Oh, I do know what I forgot to do. But see how that's hanging down a little bit right there? You should angle that part. This is the only one showing, but yeah. You angle it and then it will not show. But it's been a couple nights since I was able to do those others, so I forgot about that part. I just kind of did it as I went, you know, whatever I thought would work. Now you're going to see here that you've got these this pocket that lifts up. Let me show you. See how it lifts out? This part's going to stay down, but because this is extra long, because I was wanting to save that wreath as much as I could, it's not a bad thing. It doesn't interfere. You just want to let it dry before you put your tag in there, which is what I will do. So let me make sure I got it straight now that I got it all pushed down. I do. Okay, and now this is where your Santa will slide in. I'm going to leave him right out here for now. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, yeah, I do. I do. So let's see. I had decided I wanted to put Hello Santa right up here. And, or Merry Christmas. I think I was going to cut this. I don't know if it's going to look good cut, but we're going to try it because I don't really want it to be a tag. I'm going to try to oval it around like the other side. It won't be perfect, but maybe it'll look all right. And because it's not close over here, I'm going to make it close over here by cutting it like that, crooked, and then trimming around it. I like the black concept. It's kind of like our front, you know. It's got the black on the red. It's almost like it's crossed his belt, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I want this to say Merry Christmas up in that corner. Now, I would pop that up if I thought, let me think if I want to use that. I like this. If I get my fingers on it. I like this Merry Christmas letter to Santa. So I for sure want that on there. So I'm going to put it in the corner first. Okay. Letters to Santa. Or do I want it over here? I think I want it down here. And I'll show you where I'm putting it. As soon as I can get back up that way. There's so much in my way over here. It'd help to move some of it, wouldn't it? I had everything I needed right here, and I just didn't want to get rid of any of it. So, because I couldn't decide. I don't know about the Merry Christmas. I'm questioning the shape of it. Okay. Yeah, this would be where using your hole punch would probably be better. Or not your hole punch, but your corner rounder. But, oh well, we're going to put it up on the left side in the corner anyway. Even though it already says Merry Christmas on the pocket. I wonder if I should put this on another page. I think I'm going to. And it won't hurt to let this set aside with some glue on it. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. And over here, I want this one that says Hello Santa to be up in that other corner. Since I think, no, it's chipboard. I thought it was going to rip off of there. Wasn't sure. The first thing we notice is, the first thing you say, I guess, in your letter would be Hello Santa, right? If you were doing a letter to Santa. We're just going to put that up in that corner. It's nice and straight. Or it was. Kind of have to push it down a little bit. And then put it where you want it. That's the nice thing about using Fabri-Tac is you have some grace period there that will keep it from, it'll dry, but Every time I touch it, I have to look because I screw it up. Okay. It's because the lettering on that little tag is not perfect. Now, for now, this is all we're going to put on this page. And we'll come back. We'll give it some time to dry. And we'll come back after we do the next page. Now, the next page is going to be the center of the book. You can do it one of two ways. Come on, center. Where are you? I'm pretty close, I think. Right there. You see the seam? That's the center. Now, you have a choice of doing one here and one here. Or one on the front and one in the back. And I usually do one on the front and one in the back. So, in most cases, I do. So, we're going to put Santa on here. This is all about Santa. Let me see if it's the right direction first. Well, the sayings are upside down. So this is going to go back here because we need it to be upright. Correct? Let me see here. Yeah. This be the right direction. So, and the other one will go on the other side, which is just green polka dots. But I know some people are really, really matchy-matchy and want to coordinate. Now, I do coordinate my pages to go one page to go with the other page kind of thing. But let me get that glue off of there. I do front to back so it makes it stronger. So you can go throughout the book and do several of these if you want and do them front to back. I think it's not going to matter that much. I got a little glue on my mat. I got to try to get it off. My poor mat has had enough glue. It's had enough glue for the lifetime on it. And it does run that spot. I've tried everything in the world to get them off, and it's not coming off of there. Okay, let's continue here. Well, after we glue to all the other stuff around us, let me move this there. Okay. I need to clean my desk off better next time. I can tell right now. I thought I had everything pushed way back, and then I've been having interference by it. So that's not true, right? So what are you guys planning for Christmas? What's your big plans? You're gonna spend Christmas with family? You gotta spend Christmas with just your children? It's fun to know what everybody has in mind. I don't know what that is. But push your paper down with one finger. Hold it, bring everything down, and then make sure you're only gluing it to one page. Now, remember, you want to get this as straight as you can. And you can see here, I didn't. And what that tells me is that I'm off here. I'm not off with the way I cut it. I'm off with how I laid it down and glued it. Because when it sticks, you know it sticks. That's just how it is. But we'll get it off of there. We will get it off. And I will straighten that up when I put my strip on here. Which is, by the way, a plaid. Which I think looks great with it. It's what's on the other side of this little guy. So I'm not going to trim these pages right this minute because we're running out of time. Sorry, guys. This is why I did the others ahead of time. And I may have to do a separate video after all, because I don't know if there'll be time to go through. I'm just going to have to jump up in a second and look, see where we're at. And again, you want to make sure that your white area is, you know, correct. Like from up here to down here, you want to make sure it's straight. And the best way, I got the paper on crooked, but as you can see now, you would never know it, right? Okay, I got glue on this page, so we got to get that off real quick. What am I? Got to get this off. Well, great. Got to get it off because you don't want it to, getting this glue off of me. I really got it on me that time. Okay. So that side's done. And then you go over here and do this side. Now you can do that or you can do both sides. And since I wrinkled this paper, I'm going to do this side. Okay. Change of plans. And either way is okay. It's perfectly fine. Now we're going to put the green on this wrinkled paper. And I may decide to go back and glue a piece of paper behind both of them. That way they're stronger, but I'm not going to do it during the video because we're running out of time, I'm afraid. Ooh, we got about 9 minutes. We'll finish this page and I'll show you what the back page looks like. And then I can flip through and show you the other ones. We may go over a little, but hopefully you understand. I don't like to continue in the next segment because we have so much time to do things for Christmas. And we don't want to waste time doing one project multiple times. And we had to with the books, but you see what I'm saying. I was asking you guys what you have been doing. I'm going to tell you what I've been doing. And when it's complete, maybe I'll show you once it's up on my fireplace. I've been painting an old window pane. And I've been putting a snowman on there. And he has turned out so cute. And what I wanted to do it's taken me 2 weeks to get him done because he's so big and heavy. And you know, you like to turn this way or turn that way or you know what I mean. So this is going to have stripe on the other side. I think that's all I had left because this green polka dot did not look good. So one of them is not matchy-matchy. My glue bottle is leaking, and that is a big problem. So when I get off camera, I'm going to have to clean that up before I can move on and glue the rest of this on. So what I'm going to show you right here, again, I will trim around, and I also will glue the next piece of paper on there. And this piece of paper, I need to get that glue off because it thinks it goes with the other piece of paper, which it doesn't. So yeah, there you go on that one. And that's what's happening here is it's sticking there because I have glue there. We'll get it taken care of. It's not a biggie. Now, these two are done, except now we will put a little green one on, but this time I'll put it on this side, and it will go here in the middle. Okay, so the reason my book keeps grabbing this thing up here is because it has glue underneath it, and it's just attacking it. So this page is going to look like this. I'm just going to lay out, you know, what I'm putting on here. Christmas is on the 25th. Okay. And then all the sticker fun you could ever want is going to be on here. It's going to be on this side because I don't want to dirty up all the cool paper on this side. Okay. So this stuff will go on these pages. Now, I'm going to move on instead of finishing this and get you to the back page and show you what you will get on what you will see on this back page. Now, it does have its own goodies. I'm going to lay those out in a minute. So, it goes like this. Or if you don't like that, you can do it like this. I mean, it's up to you. And yes, I've used this paper, but it's so cute. And again, it's going to have the opposite stripes. This one goes over here, and this one goes over here. Now, let's decorate real quick. So this is Santa. I'm going to lay him here, but he might end up over here. Depends on how well he looks. Here's Santa with cookies. The cookies for Santa. A Christmas tree. Kind of represents, you know, the night before Christmas, kind of. And up here, it's going to say, ho, ho, ho. Like on a banner. If I can get my fingers to pick it up. And then it's going to have this other ho, ho, ho right there. Okay, so that is going to go up there, and the other is going to go here. Keep it all together right there. Over here, it's going to have this Christmas tree. And I plan on adding like some ornaments right there. 3 different ones so they don't, let me put the red in the middle. Just like this. And then it's going to say, be jolly, Santa. Just like that. But anyway, so there you go. This is this book. And I'm going to move this stuff off so I don't mess up. Move this out of the way for now. And of course, we will put the red back on this one, which is right here, which really is the same as the front. And all it's going to have on it is my stamp back here. Okay, now I want us to look at the others. So we will look at this one more time. There you have Santa. He will have 3 tabs too, and I'm going to clean this little buckle up. I just got to get off camera to do that. And so that is the Santa book. Now I'm going to make sure you guys can see each one. Or wiggling, I'm sorry. There's the Santa book. I'll set him down right here. I don't know if they'll all fit on here or not, but we'll find out in a minute, won't we? Okay. Now, the next one is the elf. Now, I have to tell you, the elf was, I made the elf, and then the elf inspired me to do the others. So this is, you just cut off pieces, fold them back and forth, and kind of fan them, and then just bring them out like a collar right here. And I added 2 little circle things. I did the buckle the same way I did Santa's. And then there's his pants. He is adorable. He is adorable. So let me just flip through him real quick so that if you're interested in him, you can check him out in my Etsy shop. Down here, you can see there's some little puffy elf feet and socks. Here's your tag. It's ornaments. I guess I was going to add that and never did. Of course, Merry Christmas and your pocket and your tab. Now, we're going to go to the center of the book. Now, these books aren't going to be, this book especially, it's not going to be as flat as you're used to because we're putting ephemera in them in places. This is a big tag. I mean, a big ornament and some more elf feet here. Here is Joy, a tab, and then I put a little package down here that looks like it's glued down nicely now. Move to the back. Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. Okay. And then just a cute elf thing and a package here, since that's what they help Santa with, is getting those toys and things out for Christmas. And then the back of this one looks like this. And this is the elf. The third one, these will be sold as a set, just so you know. The third one is a snowman. And I did get his mouth in there. I think I've made these a couple times. I made them for myself, and then I decided to make them again. And last time I put the scarf up here, and I decided this time I didn't want to do that. If you look, you can see that these are all trimmed. It's got his 3 big buttons. He's adorable. His back is white. No, I'm sorry, I did a black plaid because I thought it'd get dirty. Okay, you open it up. Pockets on the left side. Has a little stamp of, like a postage stamp of a snowman. This one's all about snowman. And here's the snowman decoupage card. Same kind of pocket. Up here I put Deck the Halls. And just a little metal tag with the snowman. And then a vintage snowman here. I think they look really cute. Flip over to the middle page. I put May Your Christmas Be Merry up in the right corner. And down here's another vintage style snowman. And right there is that sweater. The ugly sweater, but I don't call it ugly. I think this one's cute. Now you flip it to the other side. Now, only in this book did I decorate this page because I had this big snowman I wanted to put in here. He didn't fit anywhere else. And so here's the back. It's holly. It says December 25th. And at the bottom is a little snow globe with a snowman. And of course, a snowman. He was like a notepad. And I put some snowflakes around him. And this is the last 2 pages. You can see I did this one kind of with poinsettias. These are white poinsettias. They're not pointy enough, but that's what they're supposed to be. This is Tim Holtz. That's Tim Holtz. This is from way back. I've been hoarding that forever. There you go. So I hope you enjoyed the process today. And I hope you'll run out and check out my store and see if you like them and want them. I'm going to sell them as a set because I feel like it's not the whole story if you don't. So, hope you have a good day. good rest of your day. That's what I plan on doing. So I'm not going to keep you on here because, it will be hard. So next week, I'll do a video, a Christmas video of some sorts. And then you probably won't see me back until after the 5th of January. Taking a little time off. I know I just got started, but those days aren't available to me. So this is how it's got to be. So anyway, Snowman, Elf, Santa. That's all you need at Christmas. Bye, guys.